Hey guys, Guardsman Duke here to talk to you about something rather important. Uh, Actually, I want to talk about something else. A bit of a change. It's tangentially connected to feminism. And what I want to talk about is the topic of male sexuality. And I feel that if anything, feminism, I've come to realize the current third wave feminists aren't trying as much to control female sexuality, although that's what they're inevitably doing. They're trying to get a stranglehold on male sexuality, which is a attempt to completely reverse the situation and undo several generations worth of attempts at equality. Now, the reason I've noticed this is because they're okay with women being sexual beings, but the moment men say anything about it, they're sexist. Because these people view male sexuality as something that is inherently violent, wrong, and bad. And you see it all the time. I mean, there's feminists who have said that they want men to feel a twinge of fear when in bed with a woman, and I don't get that. I mean, listen, maybe it's because I've actually had sex, but sex is supposed to be a comfortable, equal, and enjoyable experience for everyone involved. No one should be feeling any kind of fear. No one should be worried at all. It should be a comfortable experience on any side. And I mean, maybe it's just me, but and again, this is going to be about male sexuality, so this is going to be important and kind of, uh, I guess you could say trigger warning or whatever. Gonna be, I guess you could say, somewhat obscene. Um, I've always made sure that my partners were completely comfortable in whatever situation we were in. And that was an important component to it, the combined trust and everything else. These women seem to have a warped view of sexuality, and especially male sexuality, because they seem to think that the lad, yo man, I'm gonna rape 50,000 women, being the norm. That male sexuality is inherently violent and bad. And you can actually go further and say, because of this constant talk of toxic masculinity, they hate everything that is masculine and wish to abolish it. And now, this is a case where I feel we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. Because, listen, male sexuality exists for a reason. Male brains and female brains are naturally different. We shouldn't be worried about these differences. We shouldn't be having a problem with these differences. Uh, Honestly, we should be celebrating our differences and playing to them. You don't have to be exactly the same to be equal. Um, as long as you don't make any assumptions on another person based on anything but their capacity to do things. And again, if you want to say, if you want to lie to my face and tell me, no, it's not about abolishing men and making them guilty for everything they've ever done, I felt it myself. And I want every other man who has ever felt this to stand up and be counted here. All right? I was ashamed of being a man for a while. I refused to grow a beard. I honestly tried to make myself as feminine as possible because I thought masculinity was evil and toxic and violent, and I didn't want to be associated with it. I want you guys to think about that. I was ashamed of a factor that honestly I had no control of because of this movement. Maybe it's not masculinity that's toxic. Maybe it's something else. Okay? Men are not inherently violent. men are not inherently rapists. As males, we're human beings. We make our own decisions. Now, yes, men do have a higher propensity for violence. If you combine our greater ability to disassociate ourselves from our emotions and our higher propensity for aggression, then yes, we are capable of more violence. That is a fair assessment. However, to say that women aren't violent is to ignore some serious facts. Women, honestly, like in actual crime and murder, kill almost as many people as men. I mean, it's absurd. And this idea that masculinity is what's toxic, I mean, it destroys any ideas because, all right, listen, and I really want people to stand up on this. What does being masculine mean to you? Being masculine to me means that you are tough, you are durable, you don't give up, and you shoulder your burdens without a complaint. Masculinity means to me to be able to endure suffering and thrive on it. Being a man means being able to and willing to fight in both physical and non-physical ways to protect yourself and those you care about. I've got a very romanticized view of it. Um, but the idea that and I guess you could call it a patriarchal instinct. Just like women have matriarchal instincts, men have patriarchal instincts. When we look at people as our brothers, as our family, we feel a need to protect them. We feel a need to stand up for them. And there's honestly nothing really particularly insanely wrong with that. Men have a natural protective instinct. Okay. That actually sounds like it could be used for both good and bad, depending upon the situation and how well you use it. And so many people go nuts and they blame it on masculinity when things such as mental instability come to play. And actually, I want to ask this, okay? Assuming that men have been more violent now than they've ever been in the past, do you think that maybe it's the villainization of a part of their identity that has led to this? I mean, really, think about it. Men have been villainized. We've been villainized to ourselves. We can't stand the idea of being with ourselves, of being ourselves. And that's a horrible thing. And I don't know. It's just, this message has been shoved down my throat and other people I know's throat for so long. And this needs to be talked about. Because we get these conflicting ideas. As men, we are not allowed to show emotion, right? We are expected to shoulder burdens that other the other genders are protected with. We we're expected to do things without a complaint. Um, we're expected to, you know, pay for dinner. We're expected to do all kinds of things for other people at the expense of ourselves. Self-sacrifice is something that is taught as being part of a man's duty. And then we're also told that, you know, if we see a woman we like, we're not allowed to say anything. We're not allowed to smile at women now because that's sexist. Listen, the nature of heterosexual relationships involves a man treating a woman as a woman, not necessarily as a man. This isn't to say less than a man, but this is to say that you are going to treat most females that you find attractive as prospective mates and attempt to put your best foot forward. I don't see what is particularly wrong about this. Now, I do understand that some men are absolute assholes because they feel entitled. They feel entitled to getting a mate out of this, and that the friend zone bullshit and everything else. Honestly, that is the sign of both a weak man, and I personally feel that that's part of the demonization of masculinity as a whole. Um, how else are they, supposed to get? We're not allowed to just walk up to a woman and say, "Hey, I think you're beautiful. Would you like to get coffee sometime? I'd like to get to know you." We're referred to as creeps there, you know. Thank God, I eventually stopped absolutely caring and ended up with the girl I'm with. But really, it's just damaging. And I think men as a whole need to start standing up about this. Now, before you say something about I'm a men's rights activist or whatever, I'm not. MRAs, as far as I've seen, are just as bad as feminists. They're so far off their rocker, and I don't agree with championing one cause or the other. I don't believe in an all-female cause or an all-male cause. I don't believe in an all-black cause or an all-white cause or an all-orange cause or otherkin cause. I believe in a human cause because we're human beings. We're in this together. We're all stuck with each other on this one little rock floating out in the middle of a vast void. Okay? We might as well start getting along. And there's really nothing we can do about that. Just because life is naturally shit doesn't mean we have to shut it up. And honestly, let's start talking about this. Let's start talking about men and boys and what it means to be a man. Because I personally had no guidance in that matter. And honestly, it hurt me. It hurt me a lot. It set me back. And I really think we need to talk about this. Now, this isn't. I guess I need to leave this caveat. This isn't to say that there is one true way of being a man, or one true way of this, or one true way of that. Just like there is no one true way of being a woman. People should be allowed to pursue whatever lives they have with however they feel. However, men do share certain traits. We are wired in the same way as are women. And to believe that you need to raise women the exact same as men, um, are men the exact same way as women, ignores the differences that not only set us apart but make us stronger. We should be celebrating our differences, not trying to hide them away or shame them. So I do want to get a discussion going on this. I really feel that this could be important. So leave some comments. Let me know how you feel. Again, this is tangentially related to Gamergate, so I'm going to, of course, tie this into Gamergate, but it's not necessarily involving that. It goes a little deeper. More addressing the underlying issues behind Gamergate and how we can improve life. Alright? Anyway, this is Guardsman Duke. As always, the Emperor protects, and Ave Imperator. Take care, guys.